Yankees, Red Sox, Michigan, Ohio State, and Lakers, Celtics. Tonight, the Cousins and Aw Shucks join the pantheon of these historic rivalries. Tonight, they face off on opposite sides of the cornhole boards. This is about more than bragging rights. It's history, legacy, and becoming cornhole royalty. 4 seniors looking to make their last mark. Their stories and path to tonight are unique, but their drive and passion for cornhole is the same. The cousins Leah and Anthi came into the tournament at the last minute and with little practice managed to shock their opponents with a dazzling display of dominance.
We talk about practicing a lot.
We do.
We talk about it pretty much every day. We're like, we should really practice.
Despite having a concussion, Leah showed the world that the lights were not too bright when it mattered and that no one can stop the cousins. Anthi was the key to their success in the semifinals, but against tonight's opponents, she won't be able to win it alone. Aw Shucks came into this tournament having the most sporting experience, and as seniors were heavily favored against a team of freshmen in the first round. The win did not come easily for the favorites, but they proved their experience was enough to take them to the finals. Dealing with tendon issues, Bailey found other ways to lift his team to glory, most notably trash-talking his teammate to success.
I got to get him to sink a couple more of those shots. There were a couple that he was, putting around the board, putting off the back of the board, and that's just unacceptable.
Justin was seemingly automatic in Game 1, but will his hubris get the better of him in the biggest moment of his life? This rivalry shares the stage with no one. Tonight's Cornhole Cathedral is a home where these 4 have all created shows. Tonight, they are the show. All eyes will be on every toss. Will Leah and Anthi be able to climb Mount Olympus and reach cornhole immortality? Justin and Bailey have talked the talk.
Victory feels good always. It feels better when you're beating people who have been saying that they're going to beat you because they're naturally good at things.
But will they be able to walk the walk? This is it. Who wants it more? To be the first Great American Cornhole Champion, the Cousins. Aw Shucks. Coverage starts now. To the Great American Cornhole Championship. 42 days ago, we saw 4 teams go head-to-head battling in the cornhole semifinals. Tonight, it's down to 2 teams competing in a best-out-of-3 match, but only one can make history as the first Great American Cornhole Champions. Before we get started, let's get a refresher on the rules of this great game. The game of cornhole is a fascinating display of raw athleticism and pure talent. But what are the actual official rules? Let's take Danny and Sandy, 2 cornhole players. Hi there, friends. Boards are placed 27 feet apart from each other. The great game of cornhole is played in innings. Players pitch the bean bags in an underhand fashion, alternating between the 2 teams. An inning is complete when every player has pitched 4 bags. The top of an inning is finished when both players at the headboard have pitched 4 bags, and the bottom of an inning is finished when both players at the footboard have pitched 4 bags. After the headboard players have finished pitching, their teammates at the footboard stop to take score, and then resume pitching to the opposite board, and vice versa. Cornhole scoring happens 2 ways. A cornhole is worth 3 points, a bag in the count is worth 1 point, and a bag out of the count is worth 0 points. The first team to reach 21 points wins the game. Cancellation scoring is when only one team can score points per inning. The team with the higher score earns the difference in points. For example, if the blue team scores 2 points and the red team only scores 1 point, the blue team will get 1 point and the red team will get 0 points for that inning. Whichever team scored points pitches first. There are a multitude of ways to get a foul. An eagle-eyed referee will be watching our athletes' every move. Some examples of types of foul bags include a bag that is on the board but touching the ground, a bag pitched when the player touched or crossed the foul line, a bag pitched when the player stepped outside the pitcher's box before releasing the bag. Also, any bag that contacts the ground or any of the studio equipment before coming to rest on the board is also a dead bag. If a dead bag is pitched, the referee must remove the bag from play before the game can continue. And that, my friends, is the glorious game of cornhole. May the best player win. Now that we all remember how to play cornhole, let's meet our video analyst, Jason Wyke. Jason is an anchor on SportsBeat and Hofstra Today and has a burning passion for cornhole. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming out tonight. Hey, Jason, what were the key plays in the semifinals that catapulted the Cousins and Aw Shucks to the finals?
Thank you, Jake. It was a moment in history in that inaugural tournament. Trying to pick just top 5 plays was tough. Plenty of moments of drama, plenty of flashy plays of athleticism. But these are our top 5 here for the Cornhole Top 5. Let's get things going. Number 5, we have here Leah. She gets that first bag on. 1-1, trying to feel out what her approach is going to be. There's now a cornhole. She could try to play hero, try to be the one to save the day, but she starts thinking sometimes the best offense is defense. Let me try to put some blocker bags down here, set up my team to try to hold on to our 7-point lead they had this moment. She knows she has her opponent right where she wants her. 4 bags on the board. It's almost as hard to put 4 on the board as it is to put 4 in the cornhole. Now, number 4, let's go over the other side. Anthi drops in the first bag. She's laughing. She's feeling comfortable, getting in the swing. Get her team's up 8 points now. This is a pivotal turning point. Sinks the second bag like it's nothing. Swish, baby, and the laugh at the end of it. Let's go to number 3. Back over to Leah. The mental side of things, talking the smack, trying to throw her opponent off her game. Clearly this works. Bag slides off. She checks the rules real quick. She goes, now I know I got her right where I want her, right in the cornhole. Let's watch it again. Woo! That's a smooth play right there. Now, oh, shucks, we didn't forget about you. Here's Justin to try to win the game. He's down 2 points. Puts that first bag in there. First bag on the board, second bag into the cornhole. Now he's got his third, leg up in the air, sinks that, give me that bag. He's starting to feel himself. He goes, I know I'm on the precipice of greatness. Let me try to get what could be the game-winning cornhole. Rocky hands up in the air. He knows it's going to be the end of that one. He's fired up. The chest bump, the let's go, and the bag toss. Now we'll go over to number 1. This is the beginning of our inaugural tournament here. The first bags hit the board. He goes, no problem. I'll drop my first one in for a cornhole. Feeling his second one. He's loose. He's comfortable. That one goes in. Ooh, I might be able to do it. Now he's got his third. He's smiling. He really starts to know greatness. Leaning. Goes in. Hand over the face. Can't believe it. Pandemonium over there on the court. Now he has to compose himself. Can I be the first person in Lawrence Herbert history for a cord sizzle? Yes, he is. The hands over the head. Those are our top 5 plays, and that's a bad man you just saw right there in Justin. He had a cord sizzle, couple different multiple bag rounds. He's a guy that is going to be quite the impact player. Now, make sure that you stay tuned because we'll be right back after this quick break.
Welcome back to the Great American Cornhole Championship. Last week, we sat down with both teams and learned what it'll take for them to win it all. Let's take a look.
Solid, you know. I definitely put up some good points. We could have pushed a little harder, I think. At the beginning of the match, I was chirping at Bailey a little bit, telling him I needed more trash talk. He kind of wasn't holding up his end of the bargain. But at the same time, it's Susan's posts. They were super nice.
They were.
We didn't want to be mean to them. We didn't want to scare them away. But on the other hand, we do know the Cousins. And there will be no holds barred. So, yeah, I think we played pretty well. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree. You know, I do need to step up the trash talk, I suppose. And I'll probably end up trash talking the Cousins more than I end up trash talking Justin, which isn't actually the strategy, but it'll play the same way. Yeah. It'll work. Great.
It's always sweet. It'll be even sweeter when we beat the Cousins. We don't want to be overzealous in our trash talk. But I think we can back it up. You know, I think they had some luck in the first round. I think they definitely felt the advantage of the 20 feet, which equal playing field. But you know, I think they'll suffer a little bit from that. And victory feels good always. It feels better when you're beating people who have been saying that they're going to beat you because they're naturally good at things. Yes, that is a direct quote from Panagiotis. The main improvement we can make for the finals is getting Bailey a couple more points. Like, I'm still looking forward to carrying. You know, I need that for my ego. But on the other hand, Antti and Leah both played pretty solid during the first round. There's no denying that. They both had a bunch of points. I know Leah was a little salty that in the coverage it seemed like Antti was carrying, but they both put up some points. Whereas on the other hand, most of them came from myself. And Bailey did have a couple. You had a couple nice, you had a really nice swish on one of the throws.
Put a couple of bags in holes.
But a lot of your points were getting canceled.
That's true.
And I think that's going to happen even more so against them. So I think the objective for us is going to be to both be contributing some points.
Going into this match, I don't think we have to particularly change up our strategy too much. What worked well for us in the first match is going to keep working in the second match. We're just going to expand upon it, grow a little bit.
We just finished producing each of our shows with them in the past 2 weeks. So at this point, the professional ties are pretty much off. I still have to deal with Zeta stuff with Antti. It's a whole thing. The professional ties on the Heat Network, they're done.
Yep.
So we are free to be as mean as possible as long as it's nothing that can't be repaired over the winter break.
We've done our best to, keep our relationships professional when they needed to be. As Justin mentioned, we both wrapped up our third shows of the semester, so we're officially done producing with them. And at this point, the relationship has soured quite quickly. But we've done our best to keep it professional when necessary, and now that's over. First thing we do after a win would probably be, a nice steak dinner, little fogo de chao, little all-you-can-eat steak, little drink, little steak, a little good time, Yeah. Keep it light, keep it relaxing, keep it fun.
I prefer to be wined and dined after a big victory. Your shoe's untied.
Nailed it.
Thanks, man.
Yes, I watched it back.
Yes, I watched the tournament back.
I know we were talking on this big game about being naturally good at stuff, but it was nice to see it actually happen. So I was pleasantly surprised, is what I'd say.
Yeah, it was really awesome to see our natural athleticism just come to fruition and see that happen. Yeah. I was named MVP, but I feel like we both carried this game together. It was a really equal playing field for both of us.
You should have saw us during the practice like minutes before. We didn't get a single bag on the board.
Honest. Let's lay everything out. We weren't doing well in the practicing. But when push comes to shove, we were up there. We were in the zone, and I think when we focus and we stay in our lane, it's like we're not thinking about our teammates or our opponents. Only thinking about ourselves. Like it shows.
Get the cameras rolling and you got a show. What can I say?
Yeah, no, I've been practicing. In fact, I was practicing so much that I hurt myself right here. Cornhole wound the other day, which was throwing, and I got a little carried away. But with that being said, I've developed some new skills that I am excited to show.
We're gonna practice. I went by the studio when the boards were out with Bailey, and I did a practice toss. Didn't quite make it, but the effort was there. So one day I'm walking down the hallway with Bailey. Next thing you know, we're practicing together. Fast forward December 6th, we're versing each other. It's just kind of surreal, but it also puts you like more in the zone. I think keep your friends close, right, and your enemies closer. So that's kind of like what I was getting at here.
That was beautifully said. I feel the exact same way, especially since Justin and I just had our last show, Director's Cut, which we co-produced. And I think coming out of that and then walking into the studio and seeing cornhole and throwing it, it was jarring. It was uncanny, but it was good though. I feel like we are at this weird level where we can we were watching each other, but we were also like in our own lane and practicing. Obviously, the biggest advantage we have against our opponents is our cousin telepathy and our cousin connection, which has now become even stronger with like our constant talk about cornhole.
That's true. We have that blood bond over them, and then we also do live together as well, so they don't even have that over us. So anything they can do, we can do it better.
Yeah, no, I would love to do better than we did last time, and I would love to score more cornholes and probably get that up to like 5 to 10 cornholes. That would be awesome.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It already worked the first time, so we're going to try and keep that same strategy. But anything new that we do come up with, we won't tell.
I'm averagely confident, too. I'm, excited for a good game, honestly.
I don't want to say I'm too confident because I really don't know what the future will hold. But, there's no mentality to have other than believing in yourself. So that's how I'm going to be. You know, I do have a level of confidence, but only the future will tell.
Absolutely. When we win, I think the first thing I'm going to do is cheer and relish in the glory of winning cornhole, the Great American Cornhole Championship, because that's honestly a main point of focus that I've been thinking about throughout the semester. So
Yeah.
I think when that finally happens, it's going to be like a weight lifted off a shoulder, but also like intense feelings of happiness, and it's just going to be, I think it's going to be great.
The first thing I'm going to do is pull up canva.com and update my resume, cornhole champion. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to cheer and thank everyone who supported us.
Aw shucks, we're going to shuck you up.
I'm here in our analyst suite, but before we hear from Jess and JJ, we have some new developments going into the finals. We've been informed that Aw Shucks Bailey Krug will be out of action tonight due to an unexpected injury. Backup player Nathan Burns will be joining team MVP Justin Brown on the court facing off against the Cousins. Now, this obviously is an impactful change, but Nathan Burns is a longtime friend of Justin's and an avid cornhole fan. Now we welcome back our esteemed analysts Jess Ross and JJ Beal. Welcome back. How will this major change impact Aw Shucks?
Well, of course, Bailey not being able to be here today is just devastating, as we've been waiting to see this matchup. But I do think that this could be a positive thing for Aw Shucks, as Justin and Nathan have had a friendship. They'll have good chemistry on the court, and I honestly think going into it, they could have a really good chance of being able to put up a good game against the Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it in the interview, you saw it in the game. This is going to be a good thing for Aw Shucks. I mean, Bailey really dragged that team down, so now bringing in Nathan, I mean, you could have brought in anyone from off the street, and they would probably be better. So I really see this as a positive for Aw Shucks tonight.
Although he is a three-sport athlete playing soccer, basketball, running track, Nathan is coming in brand new to the championship match tonight with little practice. In the last game, Bailey had the fewest cornholes of anyone that was going to compete tonight. Do you think that means that Justin will have to continue carrying this team to success?
I mean, when we look back at the semifinals, Justin was just dominant the entire time. And honestly, if Nathan could even make 3 cornholes, he would produce better than Bailey did. So I think that honestly, Justin is at an advantage here, because he doesn't know kind of what he's dealing with when it comes to Nathan's performance level. So I honestly think this is going to be a great matchup. Nathan, we don't know if he's going to produce well or if it's going to be kind of like a Bailey situation, but I honestly think Nathan is going to go into this strong and honestly surprise us.
Yeah, I think with Aw Shucks, it's all about bags on board. Being consistent, hitting singles, because you know Justin can hit home runs, so that kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off of Nathan. He's just going to be out there. He just needs to put the bags on the board. Doesn't need to put them in the hole. Just get him in the count, on the board, and from there, it's really Aw Shucks' game to lose.
Right, and when there's a huge change like this, it affects everyone on the court. How should the Cousins prepare for playing an unknown wild card like Nathan, and they haven't seen him play?
I think the Cousins should be prepared. I don't know if they should be scared or if they should be a little laid back, but I think that they should go into this as if they were playing Justin and Bailey. Obviously, they had that friendship, they have that connection, but Nathan is no stranger. He is somebody that they have a good dynamic with. They are all friends, and I think that this competition is going to be even more interesting to now see, as there was a change to what was originally supposed to go on.
I think the Cousins just have to play their game. I think if they stick with what works for them, they were consistent last time. The Jersey girls, not the best competition. Aw Shucks is going to provide more of a challenge for them. But as long as they stay consistent, put bags on the board, I could see the Cousins, it's not going to really matter what Nathan does.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Cousins. In game 1, despite having a concussion, Leah was the most consistent player on that team and getting bags on the board, as JJ spoke about. We spoke to her pregame, and she is concussion symptom-free. Does that bring the Cousins a little bit more hope tonight, you think?
I think it could. I think when we're talking about how they performed, Thea had 5 cornholes, but only got 1 on the board. Leah, however, with 4 cornholes and getting 7 on the board, even with the concussion symptoms. So I think both of them being clear-headed tonight will be very beneficial, and I am very, very excited to see how this is going to turn out for everybody.
Jake, they mentioned it in the interview. There's some changes on the court tonight, so I could see that being a problem for the Cousins. But as long as they stay consistent and they stay with their game plan, they stick with just getting bags on the board, I could see them having a lot of success tonight.
And Anti's birthday was yesterday, right before the finals. And when I asked her pregame how she planned to celebrate, she responded with rest and relaxation. And she hopes to celebrate after she beats Justin and Bailey. Now, she won't be able to beat Justin and Bailey, but maybe she'll be able to beat Justin and Nate. Do you both think that Anti is coming into this match older, wiser, and better?
I think she is. I think she is well rested. She had a good birthday. Happy 22. She's going to go into this. She's going to have all of that excitement from her birthday and knowing that this is what she had to look forward to the next day. So I honestly think we should see a great performance out of her tonight.
There's no greater motivator than, the sense of a party. It's, you feel it in any championship. You get the champagne celebration. I feel like that's nothing but a great motivator for the Cousins.
And yes, the question on everyone's mind, watching at home, who do you predict will be the first Great American Cornhole Champion?
I am going to have to say the Cousins tonight.
JJ, who are you thinking?
Cousins in 3.
Well, that's incredible. We have 2 cousin picks. We'll have to see if JJ and Jess are right. We're going to be right back after we have this short break. We'll kick it over to our commentary team to take us in to the first game of the night. Welcome back to our analyst suite. Keeping you on top of the action once again is Gabe Zoda. Gabe, do you have any predictions about what will happen when these rivals hit the court tonight?
I really like what Nathan has the potential to bring tonight. This is a new addition to this Aw Shucks team, and as you guys mentioned there on the analyst desk, he doesn't need to be on the aggressive. He doesn't need to do too much with his cornhole tosses. All he needs to do is stay on the defensive, allow Justin to be that ultra-offensive menace that he's been all throughout so far. So once again, Nathan being able to be that defensive guy, I think that plays a big part and something we'll really see that strategy play out tonight.
We'll have to see that play out tonight. Adding some color tonight is our very own cornhole connoisseur, Julia Kavanaugh. Julia, in your opinion, what do each of these teams need to do to become the champion?
Well, guys, we've got ourselves a best-of-3 matchup tonight. So if the Cousins can't get that, new board adjustment going right away, it's okay. If Nathan needs a bit of warm-up time, it's okay. I truly think that this is going to be a 3-game matchup. I don't know who's going to win. I don't really even have a prediction because we've got a wild card in the mix. You never know what's going to happen there. So Nathan could come out and match Justin, or he could come out and match what Bailey was doing. So for me, I think each team is just going to need to play their own game.
Well, let's get into the first game of the Great American Cornhole Championship Finals. Our referees, Brooke and Zoe, are doing a coin toss to decide who will throw first tonight. This is a big part of the game. You really want to get things started off on the right way. Being able to get that first toss, those first bags in your side, really plays a difference when looking out as the coin flip just occurred. Teams looking in. It's going to be heads. The Cousins will be throwing first here, so you allow the Cousins to start off here and try to get themselves on the right foot.
Yeah, the Cousins will be with the red bags, and Aw Shucks will be on the blue bags. This first throw, it could be the all-important indicator of how this first match is going to end up.
So here we go. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's been 42 days of suspense, but finally tonight we're able to get in to the studio to see just who will take this game. We're already seeing the mental gymnastics from both teams. The talk is out early to try to get teams off of their games. Here we go. First throw from Antti. And then Justin returning fire. Both teams, no connections yet. Once again, it's that new 27-foot board length that's really going to get things going as Antti gets the first board on.
Yeah, definitely going to be a big adjustment, and you're seeing that already, but 2 on for each team, so it didn't take that long.
That's what you get with these finalist members. Quick to adjust. It's Justin with the final, gets the second one on. Take a quick 2-1 lead.
Yeah, that cancellation scoring coming into play here, so seems like Aw Shucks is going to get the first point here, but just one, so not a huge first inning for either team, just trying to feel out. Obviously, the new board length is going to make a big difference in how each team plays.
Yeah, and that's definitely something to look at. Once again, playing that defense, so getting that second one on, able to get that 1-point advantage for Aw Shucks. Let's look in here as
A little confusion between who's going to throw first, but looks like we're going to see Nathan for his first throw.
as Aw Shucks did get that first point, so they will take that first toss. Leah able to get one on the board, something she was so great at in that semifinal matchup.
Nathan not having any success so far. Looks like that's Bailey's shirt we heard, so could be a little hindered there by the length.
And another one on for Leah. That would be 2. Once again, just so great at just getting the bags to stick on the board.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 2-pointer there for the Cousins, a 2-1 lead now for them. As we have a live audience in studio today, what an exciting time for the first ever Great American Cornhole Championships.
Always great to have people in the audience, but it adds that extra element of anxiety as well, a little bit of extra pressure for these players as Justin gets one on the board. On the returns, She'll able to cancel out that one. Good defense, but Justin fires right back.
Yeah, Justin seems to be used to the board a little bit already as he sinks a cornhole right there.
First cornhole of the night goes on the side of Aw Shucks. They tried to play a little bit of defense to get that bag off, but unable to. But what a big inning that was for Aw Shucks as they end up getting 4 points as that replay of the cornhole right there. Such a big moment in this game so far.
Yeah, first cornhole of the night, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Aw Shucks as Nathan was looking a little shaky there, but he'll get to see if he can make it up in this second inning.
Yeah, Nathan still yet to land one on the board, looking once again just to find his bearings in this matchup so far. Is just short on his second toss. Leah short again. See if Nathan can land one here, just missing to the left. No good for either side so far. Nathan tries to hit, unable to. Leah with the last bag of the inning, and that one will slide off the back of the board. So nothing there. No, not great, but not bad for either team right there. We'll stay 5-2. Aw Shucks stay in the lead.
Yeah, looking like the side of Unthi and Justin are going to have to do a lot of the pulling for the scores here as they've been, handling a lot of the weight. We got a 5-2 score in favor of Aw Shucks right now.
As Justin, that one slides off the back. As you mentioned, this side of the board seems to be the more offensive of the two sides. As Unthi misses short, Justin once again slides off the back a little bit too strong. Justin now his third. That one will stick right on that star. And Unthi, that one, it's going to be interesting to see if they count that point or not. Able to get the cornhole. He is on fire early on. He continues to fire.
Unthi nearly matches it there, but Justin gets his second cornhole of the night, and they're going to get 3 points on that one. 8-2 the score here in game one in favor of Aw Shucks.
Once again, we're going to 21 here in this best-of-3 matchup. So, once again, just the start here, that 6-point lead could get neutralized in such a quick amount of time, so you can't get too flustered by the early deficit if you are on the side of the Cousins.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with cancellation scoring, if you each get a cornhole, that means no points for anybody. So you just, as JJ mentioned earlier, bags on board is going to be important.
As Nathan lands his first bag on the board tonight, huge for Aw Shucks. Let's see if he can carry momentum again. Just slides off the back. Goes Leah. Having a little bit of struggles here in the middle innings here. It's Nathan starting to find his stroke. There's Leah once again playing that defense. Nathan tries to get his last one on, no good. Leah will try to do the same, no good as well. But Aw Shucks just continuing to chip away, continuing to build a solid lead over the Cousins.
Yeah, Nathan, as you mentioned, looking like he might be finding what he's supposed to be doing here, and the Cousins not having a lot of success with this new distance here, not looking like they're getting enough air under it.
As Justin lands the first one, just mentioned in the pregame that really Nathan, anything that he could produce would just be cherry on top because Justin's going to be able to get a bulk of the scoring down. So getting Nathan into the swing of things really changes what we've seen so far as Justin once again staying consistent, lands his second bag on the board.
Yeah, and all these competitors, they know each other. They know how to get in each other's head. And there it is right there.
And there it is, and that's all it takes to
Yep.
change the entire swing of an inning there. So that'll add 1 point to the Cousins, just due to that umphy cornhole. I mean, you just cannot ask for anything more than what you got there in that inning from the Cousins.
No, absolutely not. After they've been struggling a little bit to start this one off, sometimes all you need is one. And to get your team going, sometimes a little momentum swing is just what you need. So Leah will try to keep that going here.
As she started off struggling recently, tried to get one on, but misses off the back. It's going to be interesting to see if Nathan can continue his recent stretch as he just slides one on the board to get one on. Be Nathan, there you go. He's continuing to find his stroke.
Yeah.
That's 2 now. Leah misses left. It'll be the last shot here for Nathan. That'll be short. But once again, pulling away on the side of Aw Shucks as they had 2 more points. Now up 11-3. I mean, we knew that Nathan was the wild card, but how much of a shock has this been so far?
I mean, we talked about Bailey's performance from the first game. We haven't seen Nathan land any cornholes yet, but he's already producing quite a bit of points.
Monty now with her first toss. That one missing just to the right of the board. Nate, and then Justin going to miss as well. Both sides seem to be struggling on this side here in this inning. As Justin, as I say that, almost the announcer's jinx, just lips it there on the board.
Yeah, Justin has 7 bags in the count as of this inning. That's going to add 2 more already, just on the lip of the cornhole there.
Yeah, he was hoping to try to get that second bag to tip in the first, but nonetheless, it will be 2 more points for Aw Shucks as they seem to start to run away with things in this one.
Yeah, 10-point lead at this point in the game with the Cousins struggling a little bit. Bags on board, cancellation scoring, that's all that's going to matter right now for Aw Shucks to take this game 1.
1 bag, 1 throw. Out of time for the Cousins has got to be the mindset here. As Leah short on her first attempt. Nathan missing his first 2 bags. There it is. That's where you need to start. 1 bag on the board for Leah, although it does get canceled out. There's Leah finding the toss, getting the second one on. See here, Leah just misses to the left, but once again, that's where you need to start. Getting 1 back with the cancellation scoring. You can make this a very long matchup by just playing that cancellation scoring. Great job by Leah there.
Absolutely. You know, you see, if you get a cornhole in, but your opponent gets 1 bag on the board, you're still up 2 points there. So it's very interesting to see how the cancellation scoring plays out with the players sort of playing the strategy of the game here.
Now we know Unthy, more of the boom or bust kind of player, did get the cornhole, but waiting to see more and more consistency in terms of bags on the board as Justin lands yet another one. Unthy, no success on that one. As Justin slides off the back. You can see the frustration on his face. I mean, he is just such a perfectionist in this game of cornhole. He expects every single shot to land on the board.
Yeah, and you saw Unthy there. She was actually looking to go overhand. I think she's struggling a lot with this new distance. She has only had 3 bags in the count compared to her last performance where she had many, many bags in the count. I mean, it was just an impressive performance from her last time, and we're not seeing that with this new distance.
So Aw Shucks added 1 more on the previous inning, and Nathan puts a bag on the board to start things off for Aw Shucks. Second one missing to the left. Leah trying to get something going. Missing on that one. You can see there a little bit unfocused on the side of the Cousins in this one so far. Nice job by Leah to get 1 on the board to cancel off that one. Let's see if she could add a point here. Just slides off the back, so it will be nothing there. No change in the score. It stays 14-4.
Yeah, still a 10-point game. Again, this is best 2 out of 3. So Aw Shucks leading here in game 1. Cousins hopefully getting a little bit warmed up as they have had quite a few short, and Aw Shucks has had quite a few long. So the adjustments are being made, but Justin looking to continue his dominance here thus far.
First bag just slides off the back of the board. Unthi now trying to slow things down. She realized that maybe she was rushing her tosses, so decides to go with the more methodical approach. Second bag for Justin, also sliding off the back. See what he can do on his third. That one just off the back. Unthi trying to get one on, just not finding the balance on those tosses. See if Unthi can try to steal a point here at the end. Just right off. So once again, a 0 from both sides in that one.
Yeah, Unthi just hasn't really been able to get anything going thus far. But if the Cousins are going to try to make a comeback here, what's it got to be?
It's got to be getting not only the bags, it's got to be cornholes. I mean, yes, we could talk about bags on board. We could talk about playing defense all we want. But at a 10-point deficit, especially if Nathan's going to be finding his stroke, just right there as Leah sinks one, that's what they're going to need if they really want to get back and take a lead here as Leah takes another bag on the board.
Yeah, that's huge right there, especially with Nathan having that one on. Leah's going to match that, but her cornhole is going to count for 3 additional points here. Nathan does able to cancel one of those out, but a big inning for Leah. She hasn't had a lot of success thus far, so the Cousins are going to get 2 points.
And you can see the replay here of the cornhole taking the approach of landing it on the stripes, allowing it to slide up the board to get that cornhole. It's a strategy that you see from a lot of players, a strategy that you see from Justin that we saw in the first semifinals. Have not seen it so far. He's been shooting it a little bit over in this matchup.
Yeah, that's such a good strategy, especially with, obviously I've been mentioning a lot, but the new distance has been playing a big key into this. So if you're just getting it on the board, you can slide it up into the hole. That's a big, big play.
Both sides unable to connect as Unthi gets one on the board, which once again is really big, and unfortunately for the Cousins, gets canceled out immediately from a Justin shot there as both teams going back and forth once again. Unthi playing with different arm angles, trying to really get the correct loft there as both sides, once again, will cancel each other out. Good job by both teams, and realizing that this game, and I think they start to realize this, that yes, All Shucks got up to a really quick start, but now the Cousins are seeing to start to settle in a little bit more, so gotta expect a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. These are some great cornhole players here. They know the game. They know how it's played. They know the strategy that goes into canceling out their opponent's scoring and just hopefully getting their team just a little bit of momentum, and that's going to do it right there.
Yeah, Leah's starting to find her stroke more and more as she gets her second cornhole, almost lands a third one, almost switched it in, but unable to get it to connect. And in fact, it takes advantage with Nathan. He lands his first cornhole. See what he can do to finish it off. Not able to get that last bag on, but that cornhole, both of them canceling each other out, and that one on for Nathan allows them to get that 1 point that inning.
Yeah, and Leah got a cornhole in, and then on the next bag, it lived right out. So almost consecutive cornholes, but then Nathan pulls a cornhole out of his back pocket and cancels it out. So a good inning right there from both of them, but just happened to not see much on the scoreboard.
Back here for Unthi. Big shot here. She lands one on the board. Justin trying to retaliate, play some defense as he's been able to do so well whenever Unthi's gotten a bag on. Let's see if he's able to get it on here. And he'll actually do better than that. He'll get his cornhole. Fist pumps as he feels like he's getting back into this one.
Momentum swing there as Unthi was just looking like, and there we go again. Another cornhole, second of the inning for Justin.
Unthi unable to land the last shot there, so have 6 for that 2, -1 for the -1 gives you the 5, which means they are 1 point away from taking this first game.
20-6, the current score right now. The Cousins, they were mounting a comeback for a minute there, but then Justin with those 5 points that inning, I mean, that could be the dagger right there.
And now everything is on the table for the Cousins. You have to ask yourself, is the strategy to maybe just not give this one up, but maybe take this one and regroup for the next couple of games? Because, once again, it is best of 3 tonight.
Yeah, best of 3, so you're definitely guaranteed a second game. That's where it's going to all count. Right now, the Cousins with 1 bag on the board, so could be, you know, they're not giving up easily.
It doesn't seem so, as right there the Cousins get one more point on. Or excuse me, they get a couple more points on. The fans showing the emotion of this matchup. So, once again now, Unthi will start off after the Cousins took the point of the last inning. Justin trying to get one on, just misses, but it still sticks on the board, which is massive for them.
Nearly closed the door with that one. Oh.
And a cornhole, so it's going to take a magic trick from Unthi to try to save this one, and with that one off the board, it is a guaranteed that Aw Shucks is going to take this first game. This last throw from Justin doesn't matter, he just chucks it towards it, and that is game one. Aw Shucks just one game away from taking this one home. Final score 21-10 as we get a couple replays here of the cornholes from both sides. As we saw once again, Nathan really doing a great job getting his stroke down. We saw Justin continue to be a consistent, dominant member of that offense.
Yeah, Aw Shucks with 6 total cornholes, but 5 of those coming from Justin, so pulling the weight once again. Unthi with 1 cornhole. Leah had 3, so she came alive towards the end there. You wonder if she's going to bring that momentum into game 2, where their shot at the championship is on the line.
We're just going to have to see. But as we see all of these replays here, once again, Nathan, absolutely the X factor in this game, landing that cornhole. But until we'll go back to the analyst desk for the analysis after game 1.
What a way to start off the night. Aw Shucks taking the victory in game 1. Jess, what did you see in that game?
I saw a lot of Justin was, as we know, Justin was going to be the quality player of this game. He was going cornhole after cornhole. He was doing so well. The Cousins honestly came up very short. I was expecting to see a lot more from them. Unthi just really could not find the board. She was a lot short, a lot of overthrows. She landed a few, but I think if they expect to come out and win game 2, to be able to even try to get this victory, they're going to have to adjust, they're going to have to regroup and do a lot better than they just did.
I feel like the Cousins really struggled with the difference going from 20 to 27 feet.
Definitely.
Aw Shucks, not so much. I mean, and the new player, Nathan. What did you see from Nathan Burns tonight?
Nathan honestly did a great job. He, at the beginning, obviously, of course, was kind of in the same length as Leah and Unthi, kind of unable to hit the board, not really able to really get the distance there. But as the game continued, he had Justin, who was doing so well, gave him a little extra confidence there. He was starting to hit the board, had a few cornholes, and that one inning with Leah, they went back to back with each other. That was a key moment in the game. I think he's doing well, and I think he is going to do a lot better in this coming match.
What I thought Nathan did a great job was just hitting singles, getting those bags on board, those bags in the count, and I think the Cousins really need to start doing that a little bit more. It seems like they're trying to hit home runs too much out there. They fell behind early. They couldn't really make up that big deficit, but if they just hit singles in this next match, do you think that's the key to them getting back in?
100%. They need to stop going for the win, going for the cornhole. Just get the bags on the board for the points.
I agree.
We'll see how the next game shakes out after this break. Don't go anywhere because the Great American Cornhole Championship will be right back.
So the bags in count, 8 bags in for Aw Shucks just in that first game here. It's going to be a tough one. A lot of adversity, but Justin's going to kick things off and miss left. Once again, you heard it from our analyst in the intermission where you really want to see the Cousins come out just hitting singles as Justin's able to get one on the board.
Yeah, and remember, this is best of 3, so the Cousins still with a chance to get things going, but Unthi's going to need to be a little hotter than that because Justin is going on fire right now with 2 on the board.
Yeah, he's going on one of those runs that Justin is known to do. It will be 2 on the board for Aw Shucks after Justin. And something that I noticed from him is that he'll get it on the board, but he's not happy with just getting it on the board. He wants it in the cornhole every time. That's what makes him such a special talent in this championship league.
Yeah, absolutely. He only had 4 bags out of the count in the semifinals. That is just technical right there. I mean, that's unbelievable. So he's definitely looking to get back to that here in the finals.
It does not get better than that, as Nathan already landing 1 on the board in this inning. Have to see what's going on here, where Nathan getting a second bag on. Leah plays defense there, just stays on at the back of the board to play a little bit of that defense. Let's see if Leah can neutralize. And she does. That right there is a mistake that cannot happen. The bag from Leah hits her own off the board and allows for 2 more points on the side of All Shucks.
That is just not what you want to see at all to start off this second game, and you could see the reactions of the crowd. They're at both sides of the spectrum. We got people rooting for All Shucks. We've got people rooting for the Cousins, but everybody recognizes that that's a tough move.
No bags on for either side to start this inning until Justin yet again does it for All Shucks. You can say obviously at this point. It seems almost automatic as he does it. Once again, it's going to have to be a battle of if Unthi can just neutralize Justin, and it doesn't seem like that's possible after the cornhole from Justin there to end out his round to add 4 more points for All Shucks, already out to an 8-0 lead. This is where things start to get scary, as you can see this replay of that last cornhole.
Absolutely. I think we might have a heat check here coming on Justin. He's gotten, I mean, what is it, 5 bags in a row on the board or something close, but he has been on fire to start off this second game, and that's exactly how you want to start.
Well, there's Leah trying to, once again, stay composed, something that she's so great at doing. Getting 1 bag on. Gets the second one on. Doesn't knock her own bag off as she did last time. And gets the cornhole. That's 3 more potential points for the Cousins.
Oh, big game here.
Nathan unable to get anything on. Gets the last bag in. You talk about a game changer. That is what it is. 6 points on the side of the Cousins to make this an 8-6 game.
What a game-changing inning there. I mean, that's almost the best inning you could have in terms of a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback just yet because Cousins still down by 2.
And
but
Justin's
once again, that is exactly, and Justin's up as he's unable to connect on his first bag attempt. On this side, though, you need to see Unthi start to get it going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin's been going absolutely bonkers so far tonight, and Unthi was really the mainstay of this Cousins team in that semifinal matchup. Have not seen that tonight.
It almost feels like a Justin versus Leah game at this point. As Justin, oh my goodness, what a play.
He hits his own bag inside the cornhole. You just don't see that from anyone else other than Justin. He said, you know what? I'm feeling a little creative. Let me go the trick shot, knock both of them down, as he does. 15-6 now, All Shucks. Once again, back and forth from both teams.
What a lethal play right there from Justin. I mean, that'll take you ahead by a lot. Just as we were talking about Leah's fantastic inning, Justin comes back and says, hey, I'm going to one-up you.
Yeah, Nathan responds with a bag of his own on top. You see how he kind of lines it up at first, then gets into his throwing action. Almost in from Leah, but not quite. But Nathan could potentially hit the bag in if he hits it well enough. Smartly decides not to. And Leah's able to get the second bag on to neutralize the scoring of that inning. We'll stay at 15-6.
Yeah, Leah, a little bit unlucky there as she, knocked her bags off in the beginning and then couldn't get that one to fall there. But she neutralized Nathan's scoring, so we're still sitting at 15-6 here in Game 2 with All Shucks up 1-0.
I mean, after that last inning, you can make the case that Justin can finish it off right here, but Unthi's going to try to stop that the best that she can. Justin just slipping too much mustard on that last one. Unthi gets that one in. She sees, she's saying, finally, I got one in.
Yeah, she's not used to not having those go for her, as she was so strong in the semifinals and finally gets a little bit of momentum on her side.
And you got to hope that maybe she's found something in terms of a stroke there. Gets the second one in as well. We go back and fourth in this one. It was an 8-0 run. Then it was a 6-0 response. Then it was 7 back for Aw Shucks, and now 6 more points on the side of the Cousins makes this a 3-point contest.
15-12, still in favor of Aw Shucks, but we have ourselves a cornhole match.
This is the matchup we expected when we came into tonight, a tightly contested match. We heard Leah in the pregame interview say, I just want to make them fight for this one, whether it's a win or a loss, and they're making them do so, as just missing the cornhole was Leah, able to stick it on the board.
Yeah, Nathan not having as much success in this game as Leah sinks a cornhole.
It's starting to get scary now on the side of Aw Shucks as you see the crowd starting to continue to get into it. It was 4 points for the Cousins in that inning after the bag on and the bag in from Leah, and the Cousins take their first lead of the day.
This is unbelievable. I don't think any of us in studio here saw this coming, especially after the dominance from Aw Shucks in game 1. But as I mentioned before, all it might have taken was a little bit of a warm-up.
But you poke the bear, and Justin is back to hitting cornholes as he gets one in. Tries to get another one on the board, unable to. Unthi, though, just missing off the back end. Let's see here what Justin's able to do. I mean, that's just professional right there. Nails the shot, and this last shot does not matter. It was 21 after the 2. That extra one's for extra sauce. And that's it. 2 games to none. Aw Shucks takes it in dominant fashion.
Justin came into that final inning absolutely dialed in with 2 cornholes. You could tell in his face he was not going to let the cousin comeback happen.
So you look at just these replays. They'll do a handshake between these sides here. I mean, you just got to respect the sportsmanship from both sides, and just a great match between these two teams.
It was a great match between them, and the Cousins really had something going towards the end there, but it was Aw Shucks in the end.
Well, once again, congratulations to Aw Shucks. You got to give it to the Cousins. Really put up a hard fight, but in the end, it was Aw Shucks winning that game 2-0, and they came out on top as they accept their trophies. Let's hear
Great
from
American
our host,
Cornhole
Jake
Champion.
Epstein.
It feels great. I called up my Undertaker earlier, and the tombstone's being written up right now, so very happy.
What do you think made you guys successful tonight?
Probably Justin's back. He must be pretty sore after this game.
No. Nate put up a few good points. That's what we were looking for. We were looking for extra contribution from the other side of the court. We got it.
You know, you just said you updated your tombstone. What's next for you guys after winning this? Do you guys think you're going to go pro in cornhole after tonight?
Probably not. Those guys are a little scary, but you know, what other white guy sports can we win?
Well, you're good at golf.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Any barbecue, I'll show up, show out. Yeah.
Plans to be determined.
All right, well, stick around. We'll be back with these two champions, and Jess and JJ will have more with them right after this break.
Congratulations again, Aw Shucks. Can you tell us a bit about what your strategy was going into the finals tonight?
You know, we walked in not expecting a whole lot. We knew it was going to be a little tough. But at the end of the day, it's all a confidence thing. You know, we were coming in, we were coming in trying our best to just not stress about it, to just have some fun, and I think it worked out, yeah.
Now, Nate, the newcomer, it took you a little bit of a time to adjust, but in that second game, you really seemed to hit your stride. What was the difference, and what adjustments did you make?
You know, it was all mental. You know, I'm repping my guy Bailey here. You know, he's an organized guy. He marked on his calendar. He had a W in for today. You know, circumstances change, but plans don't. That's it.
And Justin, obviously you did play in the semifinal rounds. How was the difference today feeling with the difference in distance from the boards?
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment at first. I think we came out strong in the first round, but it was it was kind of lucky. I was a little scared of the long range, and the first few throws were evidence. I was short, I was long, I was back and forth. But, you know, eventually we figured it out. I think we made the adjustment. And Nate coming in cold, I think he did it great with the extra length. He expected it to be 20 feet, and it ended up being 27, and he still did a great job.
I expected cornhole.
Okay.
Do you think that the mustaches helped at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we look so sharp.
We didn't even plan this. We just showed up today.
I
right?
saw him earlier today with the stash, and I went, "Oh, I got you."
Really?
Was it planned for you guys?
Well, it was originally planned for me and Bailey, and then he couldn't make it last minute, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna shave the stash." And then I got a picture from Nate that was just captioned "Aw shucks" with him with a mustache, and I knew I had to keep it.
Truly,
You
great
can't.
dynamic.
Yeah, you can't lose it after that.
And Nate, what was your reaction when you got the call saying that you had to come and step in tonight for Bailey?
I said, "Oh shucks." When opportunity calls, you answer. You know. I walked in here today, not a single compliment, a lot of insults actually. But you know what? We showed up. You know, it's funny. The odds tanked when my name was called, but you know, we showed up, we swept, did what we needed to do, took it personally.
Real personally, yeah.
Now, both of us on the panel had cousins in 3. So what do you have to say to the haters and doubters, that some of which are sitting right here?
Yeah, we were sitting up in the green room. We saw you guys both pick the cousins. I think we were a little disheartened. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little upset personally. I don't know about you.
I was like, give it 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no. To the haters out there, I think we just have one thing to say to you. Your shoes untied.
Also, I don't look dumb in this outfit. People keep saying
It's a good look, honestly.
All right, well, congratulations once again to Aw Shucks on being the first ever Great American Cornhole Champions. That brings us to the end of our broadcast. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes, our live studio audience, and of course, our cornhole teams. Make sure to check out our Instagram for exclusive behind the scenes content. This has been the Great American.